What's up, guys? It's Dr. Cameron Brown.
Yes, and Dr. Eusebio de Rosier, welcome again to New Wave TV. If you're new to the channel, this is a platform where we talk about all things New Wave, all things health, important aspects of health. We believe, the body should be free of disease or disease. The power of the mind is understood and spiritual health is valued. So those are important aspects of health. And we want to just be discussing things that are going to be a benefit to you and health in general, or that could help improve your quality of life. So that being said, why don't we just hop in today's discussion? I think this one is going to be very valuable because it's part of everyday life, or every week or month, however many times you go to the grocery store and you buy your groceries. Food is something that is used to provide nutrients for the body, right? And people are eating every single day. So I think we're gonna just kind of dive in and talk about some healthier options, some choices that we should be aware of. Also, some things that we should be mindful of when we are out in the aisles picking up our favorite products or food for our families. So just diving in, we get this question a lot, but not only that, this is something that a lot of people have heard or already are getting into the habit of. When you go into the grocery store, you get a product that you like, that you are used to buying. You turn it over and there's the label, you see the serving size, calories, so on and so forth. And this is information people might already know, but what are, off of just that label, what are like one or two or three things that your eyes immediately go to that we should kind of be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so first thing that catches our attention is the front of the package, right? If it's appealing to us, the marketing nowadays has gotten so good and so strategic on how consumers think, what they look for, what catches their eye. So, the branding and all of those things have become very good. So nowadays, everybody's looking for organic, unprocessed food. So you'll see a lot of organic on the front label, no additives, no preservatives, things of that nature. But what we need to start doing is flipping that package over, or that can over, or that box over, and looking at the ingredients. All right. There was a big push in looking at the nutrition profile. So your macronutrients, so the fats, proteins, carbohydrates, salt, all of that, which is good. You want to definitely pay attention to that, but you want to really pay attention to what is in the food that you're buying, because ultimately that plays the biggest factor in the nutrition value, nutrition content of that food.
Yeah, so looking at the micronutrients in the back of the label is important as well. But the sugars is actually really interesting, because there is the total sugar column, and then under that is the added sugars, right? So you could have 20 grams of total sugars, and 18 of those grams could be added,
Yeah, so let's back up for a minute. I want to address this too, because there's a big misconception when it comes to sugars. All right, I get this a lot, I have to watch how much sugar I consume because I don't want to get diabetes, or I'm diabetic, I shouldn't be eating, X amount of fruit because it's high in sugar. So when it comes to sugar, you have simple sugars and then you have complex sugars. Simple sugars is what your body thrives on. All right, that's our number one source of energy. Carbohydrates, that's a form of sugar. You have healthy carbohydrates, you have unhealthy carbohydrates. Unhealthy carbohydrates, or complex carbohydrates, would be your grains, so like the pastas, your rices, your breads, any processed food. So like your baked goods, cookies, all of those are going to be complex carbohydrates. And those are the food items that cause dis-ease within the body, because your body has to work 10 times harder to convert those complex carbohydrates into simple carbohydrates to be used as energy or fuel. Because the body, anything that you consume, the body has to break it down into simple carbohydrates or simple sugars or simple carbohydrates. So going back to the sugars, it's not necessarily the sugars that are causing issues. It's the complex sugars, the added sugars that, the white sugar that you add into your cereal or you add into your baked goods, the brown sugars. That's the issue. That's what's causing a lot of illness and disease, not the simple sugars that you get from your fruits. So just wanted to clear that up a little bit, because I get that all the time. I can't eat that much fruit because of the sugar content. That's the sugar that your body thrives on and utilizes the best. So continue to consume your fruits and vegetables.
Oh yeah, so it's pretty much, the same concept that, all carbs are not created equal.
Exactly.
All sugars are not created equal, right? All proteins are not created equal. So, yeah, that's a pretty good point, because we do hear that a lot as well.
Right.
And that's really interesting. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, but also too, with the added sugar proportion. So that just goes to show you that when you see the amount of sugar and then you see the added portion, that's just letting you know that there's already a decent amount of sugar in that processed food. They just went ahead and added even more sugar in there to appeal to one's palate. Yeah. Because nowadays our taste buds have been so hijacked to crave these sugars, these fats, and this is a whole nother subject, but I'm gonna kind of go there a little bit. They actually have food biochemists. So people actually have jobs that create these foods to be hyper palatable, meaning that you cannot just eat one of these, you just crave these foods constantly. So example, potato chips. They actually study and get down to a science the perfect texture, the perfect crunch, the perfect taste, so that you continue to eat and consume these things. It's a whole science.
I believe it. When was the last time someone offered you potato chip, or you're eating a bag of potato chips? You only have just one.
Only have exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy now that that's what it come down to. Really targeting what people. Targeting people's emotions, because most people are emotional eaters.
Emotional eaters, yes, that's for sure. And also that feeds into the cycle when you are having an increased consumption of sugar, right? Your body starts to crave that, right? And then obviously the metabolic disorders start to slowly creep in. So switching gears, when we're buying organic, right? That's a big thing. And you want to buy organic. Now, are there certain products, fruits, and vegetables that we should be 100%, we have to buy organic, versus there are some that, it may not be such a big deal? Or should we just say, let's just go ahead and buy everything organic and play it safe?
Yeah, so, like I tell people, you either gonna pay now or you're gonna pay later, right? So I know organic can be expensive at times, but there are certain foods that you should prioritize getting organic than non-organic. And some of those foods are gonna be like your apples, your berries, your grapes, cucumbers, potatoes. Those are just some of the common foods that if you can get those organic, go ahead and get them organic.
Yeah, spinach, kale.
Right. Yeah. There's the whole dirty dozen, which we'll link that in the show notes below. But yeah, there's some common foods that I would highly recommend that you go ahead and get organic as opposed to non-organic, because they are heavily sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, and obviously we don't want to be consuming those things. So that's why you want to try to get those organic if possible.
Oh yeah, you were also a big thing because they just added before blueberries and blueberries, and I think spinach wasn't originally on there as well, but they added those. And I know you love your blueberries.
Yeah, blueberries are. So let me back up. So there was a report about a month or two ago that came out and said that blueberries were found to have the highest amount of pesticides on them. So they definitely included that into the Dirty Dozen, so that you will definitely want to get those organic. Which kind of transitioned me into talking about washing your produce as well.
Yeah, because even if you buy them organic, doesn't mean you shouldn't wash them.
Exactly. So with a lot of these fruits, they are sprayed with a preservative on them too, to keep them looking fresh as well, because most of the fruits that we get are being shipped over, right? So in order for them to be shipped over and not spoil, they either, one, add a wax coating to them, or two, they inject something into them so that they last longer, so that they can make it onto the actual shelves.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is, when you get home, is you want to get a bowl of warm water, put in some baking soda and a dash of apple cider vinegar. If you don't have apple cider vinegar, that's okay, but baking soda, and stir that up, and then go ahead and put your fruit in there and let it sit in there, soak for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, drain it, and you can go ahead and look in that bowl, and you will see a bunch of residue in that bowl, letting you know that there was a lot of dirt and whatnot on that fruit. And then go ahead and rinse them off so that you can get the excess dirt and residuals off the fruit as well. Now, when it comes to the wax on these foods, you definitely want to use hot water, especially when it comes to apples. Apples are known to be covered in wax. So you definitely want to use hot water. You can use hot water and pour some boiling hot water on top of the apple, and you will see like a white coating start to melt off of the apple, and that's the wax. So definitely do that when you have your apples. And then another thing too, when it comes to fruits, your fruits that have peels, or thicker peels, so like an orange, you want to make sure that you are scrubbing those when you clean those, because what happens is, when you go to cut into that peel, or if you are cutting into that peel, you are transferring any type of bacteria that's on the peel to the inside of that fruit, that orange. Yeah. Does that make sense?
No. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. That cross contamination.
Exactly. So you just want to make sure that you're doing those things when you get home to your fruits, making sure that you do your due diligence as well.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a good point. And we might just have to do a quick little video, kind of just walking through that, because I think that is
for sure. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, awesome. And then there's the baking soda, apple cider vinegar. There's also fruit washing kits too. You could buy.
Yes.
As well.
Yes, you can find those at your grocery stores too. Typically in the produce section, they'll have some in there. I know Trader Joe's has it. That's that's where I got mine from. But you should be able to find that at like Publix, Walmart as well. So
online. So there's many different options. But if you don't have that, then obviously
the baking soda.
Yeah, exactly.
You can find that anywhere.
Yeah. So those are important things, because imagine consuming these things without taking the proper safety precautions, years after years after years, what those effects could potentially do to your body and your health. So small things like this, I tell patients this all the time, small things over a long period of time, they make a big difference. So
100%. Oh, and it just came to mind too, I got to bring this up. So another benefit of washing your fruits as well. So a lot of times with people, and I experienced this in the past as well, but a lot of times people say, they'll bite into a fruit and then they get like a scratchy feeling or itchy feeling in their mouth. A lot of times it's not that you are allergic to the fruit, it's because of the pesticides or herbicides or insecticides that are on the fruit that your body does not respond well to. So that's a lot of times what people have a adverse reaction to is those toxins that they are being exposed to, not the fruit itself. So
no, yeah. And it's just crazy because you think you're giving your body, the nutrients and things that it needs to thrive and survive. And when you are not aware of these things, you're actually consuming toxins,
Yep.
And it's just that vicious cycle. So please wash your fruit and vegetables thoroughly. Same thing when it goes to your spinach, your cabbage, your kale, things like that. You definitely want to be washing those
as well.
Yeah. So so that being said, man, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. It was good to talking to you.
Likewise, my brother.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any specific topics you would like us to cover, please leave a comment below, and we will definitely try to incorporate that into our future talks.
Yes, please remember to like, subscribe, share. Our website is going to be a good place to find all content as well. And we'll also be having blogs up too. So there's a lot of information. It's really just to give for you guys to just help benefit your lives in some capacity. So it's always a pleasure. Next time on New Way TV, we'll be seeing you soon.
All right. Stay healthy, stay blessed.